Hello everyone, welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc. and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc. and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc. and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. Um, so, I'm going to be talking about Young Thug, and I'm not going to be throwing any shade at him or anybody that's in that situation. Because I mean, heck, I've had a family member that spent 10 years in federal prison, and he's facing federal charges right now from a RICO aspect. And the crazy thing is, especially for him to be so young or whatnot. I mean, he was born in 1991, so he's basically 22 years old, or just about to turn 22. I don't know his exact birthday, but it's a crying shame at the end of the day because I've heard a little bit of his music. I remember the first time I saw Young Thug. He made a statement about I got money, I got ice, but he was younger back then. I think he was still a teenager at that time. It's back in 2014. He's like, hey, I got ice, you got money. We doing blah blah blah. So I don't need to comment on any specific social issues and things of that nature. And hey, that's how he felt at the time. Hey, we've all said and done stupid things as a kid, as a teenager. I know I did. So it is what it is. I think he was getting a little bit more made aware about about life and situations and whatnot. But I really yesterday I heard about the news about him facing charges. Today I watched him on Wallow and Gilly, two great brothers out of Philadelphia and whatnot, and they were trying to give him game. This is the saddest thing about it. They were trying, because I respect the OGs that are giving game to the young gentlemen, young men, because they need that guidance, especially with so many men growing up without fathers in today's world. For the last 20 years, it's been so normal, especially in certain parts of the African American community, fathers not being in the child's lives. You know, and to me, that's one sad thing. All right, because hey, I didn't have a father growing up. My dad was killed when I was a young, about 3 years old and whatnot. But I had men in my family and men that were friends of my mom, and then men that were in the community that would step up and be the fatherly figure. My uncle, from my uncle Donnie, from my uncle Ashley, to other men that worked at my mom's office and things of that nature. So I was fortunate enough to have other men, especially black men, reach out to people like me, for to young guys like me. But the one thing I will say with all sincerity is Young Thug's situation. Listening to him, and hey, I grew up around guys like him that was straight up in the streets. I got family members that are like him that grew, whether they were in the projects in Connecticut, New York, Richmond, Virginia, North Carolina. I've been around street dudes, um, that's either some wanted to change or some didn't want to change. That's just what it is at the end of the day. But it's unfortunate at the end of the day because I'm going to read the actual thing that he's going through right now, and then I'm going to get my perspective on it. All right. So, in Fulton County court appearance, several new details came into clarity in the sweeping legal tangle that Young Thug now faces. All right. He's facing 7 new felony charges in a case that is for now a second and separate one outside of the Young Slime Life Gang RICO case he was arrested for earlier this week and was denied bond in the case on Wednesday, which was yesterday. Now, before I go forward, I saw that I don't know if this is an actual gang or not, the Young Slime Gang, but I remember when he was talking, and this is the problem this is the problem in the social media era. People want to put all their business out there. Because if especially, I'm not advocating for anybody being in the street life, but if you're gonna do something, do it right. That's all I'm gonna say. I am not the one to advocate for anybody breaking the law. But if you're gonna do something, do it right. And I remember when he was on the podcast with Wallow and Gilly, they were, they asked him, hey, what is the slime thing? And he's like, well, it's basically a family and whatnot. But he didn't want to get in. You could tell he didn't want to get into any additional details about what the slime It's basically because it's supposed to be basically a family and whatnot, but um, it's supposed to be a part of the record label and things of that nature. But if you adding gang into a specific name, it's going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. Because I'm bringing this up because this is a repeat. This isn't a new thing, and especially in regards to rappers and record labels being targeted by law enforcement organizations. It's not. There were ones that actually weren't breaking the law, and then there were ones that were breaking the law. From the Death Row Suge Knight, we know what was going on with Death Row and Suge Knight. But I remember when the INC basically, in a sense, kind of went bankrupt. They went bankrupt in regards to having to prove that they were not involved with any federal drug trafficking dealers or anything like that, just because they were friends with somebody. But you always had that guilty by association situation. You know, but the main reason why I'm talking about this with the Young Thug situation, because I'm not downing him. I mean, if he is innocent, I hope that he has a good lawyer or a team of lawyers that can get him acquitted of the charges. From the slime gang situation. But I will say, with all sincerity, is that I got mixed feelings about the Young Thug situation because he's the type that one he's still very young, so he's still got a lot of growing up to do. So that's why I'm not trashing him. I'm not. Do not take it that I'm trashing the person that's facing life imprisonment or the death penalty. I'm not. But what I am saying is, I remember he was like, when he was talking, he was like I love DMX, but the saddest thing, the problem with DMX is one of my favorite rappers. So you're never gonna hear me say anything bad about DMX. But the problem with DMX is DMX was one, he had such a hard life growing up, harder than most. From when you think about having to deal with his parents, orphanages, group homes, prison, being homeless, living on the streets. Like DMX came from the straight up gutter and whatnot. And he never went quote unquote Hollywood, even though he was acting in movies, even though, he always wanted to be in back in his neighborhood. He didn't evolve. Swiss Beats would say that. Even I remember Chris Rock said it. He's like, DMX is a smart guy. He said the problem is DMX doesn't want to be around people that are outside of the zone of people that he grew up with in the hood and whatnot. He didn't want to evolve past that, unfortunately. And because of that, and because of drug uses and things of that nature, which is I don't understand why it's so cool for people to get high. Like people gone beyond the whole marijuana. People want they're popping mollies, they're snorting, they're putting needles. I like I said, my generation it wasn't cool to get high, and it definitely wasn't cool to get high with hard drugs. It just wasn't. I don't get that, but I leave that alone. But anyways, I digress. But the point I'm making is podcast. Young Thug was like, I really wish I could have made a song with DMX before he passed away because he's done music with Swiss Beats before. He's like, and I'm like, okay, I can respect that. But he's like, yeah, I see much DMX in regards to I got to be around the thugs. I got to be around this environment because, in a sense, quote unquote, this is all he knows. But I call BS on that because I get tired of that. This is all I know nonsense. This is how people don't evolve. Tupac would still be alive today. I remember saying this the other day. Tupac most likely would still be alive today if he would have toned it down a little bit and stopped, popping off on the wrong ones. Okay, if Tupac would have just focused on making music and not trying to be a whatnot and not trying to, and I love Tupac's music. That's what I said. I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying eventually everybody has to evolve. There's a reason why Jay-Z and Nas are where they are today, and Tupac is not. Okay, there's a reason why Jay-Z and Nas, the people from my generation who are still around today that are making money moves, whether it's in music but mostly outside of music, it's because they do the crazy thing growing up and evolving. I remember when Nas made a documentary about being in Queensbridge, going back to his old neighborhood and whatnot, and looking at his first album cover when it was in front of the projects in Queensbridge, and he was talking about 95 to 90% of the people that was in that picture they were either dead or they were in jail or they were on drugs. They were dope fiends. And that is really the main reason why I'm making this video tonight. It's not to bash anybody, but if Young Thug beats this, if he is, acquitted, I will say this with all sincerity, that I hope he looks at this as a life changing moment. Don't look at it as, hey, I beat this, I can wild out and whatnot. Look at this as a life changing moment, because and look at this as an opportunity. Hey, doesn't mean you need to forget where you come from. Nobody's saying that, but I am definitely saying that if you want to, because the main reason why I bring up that interview with Wallow and Gilly, and I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get a strike against my channel for playing it. But check out Wallow and Giggy and Young Thug's interview, and this is actually 11 to 12 months ago when they did it, because they Wallow and Gilly left Philadelphia, came down to Atlanta to his studio that he was at with him and his gang, or well his gang, him and his people. I'm not gonna say they're a gang, him and his people, and whatnot. They were recording, but I could see everybody that was down there. I was just like, okay, one, all young, early 20s, mid 20s. I think one guy might have been in his mid 30s. Two, um, there was no real, there was smart people there, but there wasn't really any intelligence in the building. I can just put it like that. And another thing is um, Wallow stated to Young Thug, he's like, "Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, young guys, because I'm gonna talk to you like your daddy and uncle should have talked to you. I'm not gonna talk down to you, but I'm gonna say, I'm paraphrasing, but at the gist of the statement was, at the end of the day, is, hey, either you're gonna be in the streets or you're gonna be in the game of as far as the hip hop game, but you can't do both because it's not gonna work." He's like, "You're in a position now, especially at a young age, to break the curses of generational poverty. You are in a position now to put yourself in generational wealth, but you have to make the conscientious decision to say, I'm going to leave the streets alone because the studio is where I belong, and being around different other people is where I belong." That is the mindset that needs to be put into in consideration and whatnot. Because the thing is, Young Thug could be another Nipsey Hussle. Young Dolph could have been another Nipsey Hussle, meaning not just being one of the greatest rappers and whatnot, because that's a great accomplishment. One of the greatest business people on the planet is the even better accomplishment. And I could tell that when I saw him in that video. Young Thug was stressed out and tired because not only does he work hard, but two, he's like, yeah, I'm carrying my family, which is sad. He's like, I got aunties. I'm quoting him. I got aunties that I ain't never met, that I'm paying their bills and whatnot. And that's a heavy burden that put on a young person. Period. Young man, young woman. That's a crazy burden to put on, because that's the saddest thing when an artist comes alive and becomes one of the biggest of them all and whatnot. They got everybody and their mama with their freaking hands out saying, "Gimme, gimme, gimme," and whatnot. But the fact that, like I said, we'll see what this goes. We'll see what this goes. But I will say at the end of the day is that, to the rappers out there and anybody in the entertainment industry that's making millions of dollars a year, you better not take this crap for granted. There's plenty of people that would kill, and I mean kill, to be in your shoes. Not even just financially, to where they know that they can put themselves in a position where they and their family never have to worry about money for the rest of their lives, but to have the notoriety and the fame and the fortune, the fame that and the glory that and the opportunity to be in the room where people are making business deals. Okay, to be in those rooms and to be in those circles that most people will never ever have the opportunity to be in because they just work a regular job. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, being a celebrity gives you access to the right people and the wrong people all at the same time as well. But a lot of times people don't want to admit that. People don't want to have that conversation, and that's the thing that kind of pisses me off with a lot of the rappers and celebrities nowadays, because you have it all right in the palm of your hand, and in a split second you can lose it all. Whether it's from being unhealthy, not treating yourself right, whether it's from being in the streets and doing stupid stuff, whether it's, and it really a lot of times it's just being around the wrong people, being associated with the wrong people. There's a reason why Snoop Dogg is still in Dr. Dre. I say this all the time, and where they at today, it's because they grew the hell up. They grew up. There's a reason why you can still talk about the P to this day, because he went into the music business saying, "I'm gonna be a businessman." The man's not just making music and making movies now. He's a part. He's got his own snacks companies, noodles companies. The man is evolved. And to the young thugs and the little pumps or all these other young rappers out there, all I'm going to say is this: your rapper career is not going to last you forever, and those streets are not going to last you forever because there's only one place where the street. There's only two places where the streets end you up: death and prison. It's nothing new. It's the same stuff, different year. Just because the clothes look are tighter now, and because the hairdos, everybody's got blonde hair and dreadlocks and tattoos all over the place. Nothing's changed. The streets are the streets. They either get worse or they get a little bit better, but the streets are the streets, and you're either gonna get got or you're gonna get put in a prison parking lot. There's no other way to put it, and it's not cool to be stupid either. I just like to say, especially like because what is it? Young Thug said, born he's younger than me. Born in 1991, so that's why I said I don't get this whole um growing up in the information age, having easier access, to because I'm a millennial and we still had to read books and whatnot. Computers were just really, and the internet was really just coming of age in my last couple of years in high school. Yeah, he was born on August 16th, 1999. All right, from Atlanta, Georgia. And I believe his mother's Haitian and his dad is African American. But it's like I said, he's been receiving mainstream notoriety since 2014. So very young guy. Had a lot of independent mixtapes. Since 2011. He signed with Gucci Man back in 2013. He's been on the right track. He's been able to put in a position to build a big empire. And but the thing is, it's just like he. I remember him saying, "I love being around this stuff," and I get it. It's like, and God bless the soul of Nipsey Hussle. It's like Nipsey Hussle. He was comfortable Crenshaw and Slauson. That's home. I think Nipsey Hussle was, and I'm just going to say this because this is how I feel. And I'm one of the biggest. Every time I go to LA, that's the first place I go. I go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to Crenshaw and Slauson. That's what it is, to pay tribute to Nipsey Hussle. I believe he probably would still be alive. He might have got shot a couple of times. I think the gentleman, I'm not going to say his name. He's not worthy of me speaking his name, that killed him. But I think if he would have had some security with him on some level, it wouldn't have showed that he was scared or he was a punk or anything of that nature. He already proved that. But it would have showed that, hey, this is not the guy to mess with. Okay, this is a shop. He should have had security with him at all times, coming and going from there at the status that he was at. Because you see Jay-Z in Hollywood, he's got security around him all the time. Beyonce, security around her all the time. And she's not affiliated with that life. And Jay-Z used to be affiliated with that life. But when you get to that position, you can get got. I mean, heck, I remember I was at a public place, and I remember the former mayor of uh, Bloomberg of New York. He has a security detail with him, and he's really just a businessman now. He's not really into politics anymore. He tries to dip his toes into it every now, but he still has a armed security. Majority of the time, they're former New York police officers and New York State police officers. They get paid a pretty penny to be on his payroll to make sure he's protected. I mean, heck, I think maybe I think if Tupac wasn't really still affiliated with Suge Knight, and I think if Tupac wouldn't have started that fight in Las Vegas, he would still be alive today. You know, maybe something else would have took him out, but that night in Vegas might not have happened. Who knows? But I will say, with all sincerity, is it's sad because like the young Dolph, like when he was killed last year, young Dolph was literally, in a sense, becoming the Nipsey Hussle of Memphis. You know, he was becoming the Nipsey Hussle of Memphis, Tennessee, because that's what you need, more Nipsey Hussles all over the place. People who are business minded. If they're in entertainment, great, but you need people who are business minded that are buying the real estate from commercial to residential, who are buying franchises, who are financing other businesses and entrepreneurs. Because the problem is with a lot of these guys that get this fame and fortune, they don't have this mindset. You know, And yeah, it was November of last year. He was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee. Luckily, they caught who did it, but the guy was 2 years younger than me. So that's just it. It says a lot on that aspect. I can't put it any other way. I really just wanted to hit home on that one. Exactly, Chris. Yeah, RICO cases, it's no joke. And when the federal government's coming after you, they're not doing it just for the sake of doing it. They've done their research and their homework. So there is something to this at the end of the day, you know. And I hope all is well, Chris. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, there's something to this. It's like that, when it comes down to it, that the federal government's not coming after you. The DOJ is not coming after you if they don't got a case. I'm just gonna keep. That's what I said. I'll say allegedly, Young Thug has a case. Is innocent allegedly, or allegedly he's guilty. But I will say that they're not coming at you for no reason. You know, because you're in the territory where they've gone after the mob, they've gone after the Ku Klux Klan, the Yakuza, what is it, Mexican mafia, all the cartels that come from Central and South America. So, because every country has its own gangs and every mafia known to man all over the freaking world. I don't care what country it is. It could be in Europe, it could be in Africa, it could be in the Caribbean, in Central South America, all over Asia. It doesn't matter. Mafias and gangs don't know they don't know any color. I'll just put it like that. But at the end of the day, man, like this is the saddest thing ever because he has so much great potential. Atlanta is a big, great mecca of black greatness. And even my brother Chris sent me the video of some of the best places in America where black people are making economic moves. I mean, heck, in Atlanta, you have your black-owned version of Amazon. It's called We Buy Black. So that's what I said. This is the saddest thing ever is the fact that all this potential is being wasted for either people that are dying because of drugs, or they dying because of being shot at, or they going to jail because of stupid crap. It's like I said, the amount of people that would love to be in your shoes, to have the fame and the fortune that you guys have. I'm talking to the rappers right now, these young guys. The amount of people are like, do you really want to go back to being broke and on the streets and hustling it and having to look behind your back even more so? Do you want to be living in the piss smelling hallways of the projects and whatnot? Rat infested, roach infested, people on the block shooting up half the time. Do you really want to be in that environment all the time? I mean, I can't answer that question. I'm just saying. I mean, Lil Bootsy left his home, and Lil Bootsy, a bona fide dude, left his hometown of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to move to Atlanta because, hey, he said, hey, I can't stay in my city because every time a rapper gets on in my city, they end up getting robbed and killed. So he made the conscientious decision to say, hey, and most of the times when rappers make it in the South, they either move to two places. They either move to Texas or they move to Georgia. That's usually one of the two places. If they come from another state, they usually move to those couple places and whatnot. Like what is it, the baby? He bona fide. He killed somebody because out of self defense. So he actually is walking around free because and he lets them know, hey, I'm not the one to be messed with. I remember when somebody tried to mess with him when he was just walking in the mall or whatnot, and he gave him the two piece. And I'm not talking about KFC. He gave him the two piece, and brother was bloody all over the place. And he was just like, yeah, I told you to stop messing with me. He wasn't even looking for the trouble. My man was with his people shopping. Okay. I'm not even a big fan of the baby, but hey, you step to another man like that, you expect to get what you're gonna get. It is what it is. Even when his baby's mother was tripping on him, doing smacking him all up and down his face, and he was live on Instagram. He was like, yeah, call the people, tell her to get her out of here. He's like, and that was the smartest thing to do. Hey, I'm on live Instagram. Y'all see, he's like, hey, this isn't my girl. I just have a child by her. I want nothing to do with her outside of our child. That's all she wrote. She hit him upside the head a couple times. He stood there. He didn't hit her. He's like, hey, I'm live. He told his guy, hey, get the security, because he was in a nice private beach resort down in Miami. Tell him to get her up out of here. That's what you do. You either get them away or you leave the situation. You don't hit no female. That's what it is. But at the day, moral of the story is, because this is basically just a rant before I call it a night. All I got to say is it's a sad thing with Young Thug. Um, if he's innocent, I hope he beats this, and I hope he comes out of this. Like when Tupac left jail, Tupac was on a rampage. He's like, yo, he's like, anybody come at me, it's on and popping. And I get his anger and frustration at the end of the day. But I think if he would have came out saying, hey, if you mess with me, I'll take you out. But if you're not messing with me, I'm gonna leave it alone. He could just kept that anger and animosity in the studio. I think it would things in life would have came out better. Folks, you got to be more strategic, and you're in a game of chess, and so many people are losing because they're still playing checkers, or they're really not even playing checkers. They're just kicking the board over and thinking, oh, okay, I ain't got to mess with this, so it is what it is. You keep thinking that people are not after you when you get to that status, and this is all economic. It's not even just entertainers. You don't think Elon Musk has a target on his back? You don't think that freaking Jeff Bezos has a target on Robert Winston? Robert F. Smith, freaking Mark Cuban. The list goes on and on. Damon John. You don't think these people have targets on their back? They do. That's why they're protected. And that's why they run in better circles and whatnot, because they know that they can't go backwards. You you might come from the gutter, but you ain't got to stay there. That's just all the best examples. Jay-Z, Nas, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, heck, even Ice Cube. You see, bona fide people. Fat Joe, bona fide people, still alive to this day. Even Fat Joe tried to tell Skittles, what I call him, stupid Tekashi 6ix9ine. Hey, in Fat Joe's Puerto Rican, New York tone. Hell, the feds are gonna come get you. The feds, I'm telling you, Tekashi. And of course, Dummy didn't listen because he was a wannabe gangster to begin with. And then you saw what happened to him, and then he snitched on everybody like that was a big surprise. One of the worst rappers on the planet, anyways. And then he ended up, getting out and whatnot. And I know eventually, I don't want anything bad to happen, but eventually his day will come because nobody even cares about his music anymore. I heard like he's in a sense going bankrupt, that he doesn't even have really enough money for security anymore. He's irrelevant. The moment he snitched, and the moment, because he wasn't even that good of a rapper to begin with, so it's like the moment he snitched, it's like he lost all his notoriety. All he does is troll now. He's like, oh yeah, see, hey, Bloods or Crips, hey, I'm in LA, ha ha ha, and puts it on social media, little boy stuff. Because nobody cares about it. Like, this dude was a freaking cashier at his daddy's bodega in freaking New York before he became a rapper. Don't even get me started, man. But anyways, I'm gonna call it a night. Like I said, Chris, hope all is well. I got started late because I had a long day, and you know how it goes. But like I said, my ATL people, I'll be there next week. So show me some love. Gonna meet up with some people. Gonna make some money moves. I'm gonna check out the trap house. Gonna do some real tourist stuff in Atlanta that I've never done before. So it's time to get it done. All right. So on that note, family, do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys have a great evening. And appreciate your life. And, if you're, to my rappers out there, to my artists out there, if you're in a position to where you can make these money moves, where you get signed to a label or you have your own label and you have a distribution deal, I'm telling you, now is the time to stop playing around. And if you got nothing but knuckleheads rocking with you, then it's time to get rid of those knuckleheads. It is what it is. Heck, even Damon Dash had to let a lot of people go and whatnot. He had to evolve. Like, yeah, it's sad that him and Jay-Z aren't really with each other like they used to be. But all I will say with sincerity is that Damon Dash has his own studio in freaking Hollywood. You got Dame Dash Studios in Hollywood. You got Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. People are making moves. Damon Dash just celebrated his daughter graduating from college. Common just celebrated his daughter graduating from law school. You got to evolve. You evolve or you disappear. Tupac said it best. You evolve or you disappear. I can't put it any other way. If people ain't trying to evolve with you, leave them the hell alone. That's the best way to stay on some sucker nonsense right there. But it is what it is, family. what it is. And my stock market investors, crypto investors, bond investors, individual retirement account investors, don't forget to sign up with WEBULL, sign up with Acorn, sign up with Stash, sign up with Crypto.com, Coinbase, and all that good stuff. Let's make money moves together, family. I'm out.
Michael.